Welcome back to another edition of Sports Sunday, and for this edition we want to update everybody on our 2019 March Madness bracket to let everybody know how our bracket is doing so far as we're working our way through the rest of the games for the first weekend of the tournament heading into the Sweet 16. Now, for those of you who haven't seen our bracket before the tournament has started, we already made a video on this in our previous Sports Sunday, and we will put that video up here in the top right corner of our screen so you can watch it before you watch this Sports Sunday so you are all caught up. For those of you who have already seen our previous Sports Sunday video and already know what our bracket looks like, and for those of you who checked out our previous Sports Sunday video by clicking the card in the top right corner of our screen and are now caught up, you know that we did pick several upsets. Now, even though some of the upsets turned out to be correct based upon what our predictions are for our bracket, there were some upsets that either did not happen that we thought they were going to happen, or some upsets that we maybe should have given a second look at, but didn't end up being picks that we made, but ended up being upsets anyway. Now, for today, we're going to show you guys our bracket and so far how we're doing and what we think we were able to do to turn around our bracket, even though for some of the picks that we didn't make were correct. Cutting into the final days of the tournament, we hope to turn our bracket around. As for the first 2 days of the tournament, in round 1, we made a total of 21 out of 32 correct picks, even though it was a rough first 2 days for us. Most of those picks, even though some of them we got wrong, didn't affect how far we're going to be able to go to in the tournament, because most of our picks that were incorrect only affected going into round 2. Now, a couple of them did end up messing up our sweet. Hopefully are going to get a second chance at getting the Sweet 16 bracket and the rest of the tournament getting those picks correct. And speaking of the same ESPN Tournament Challenge app where we submitted our bracket, there's actually going to be a second chance bracket that we're going to submit as well under the same name, Verdict Squad. So it's going to be under the ESPN Tournament Second Chance Bracket app that we're going to submit as well. And as part of a special Sports Sunday video as well, we're going to share everybody our Sweet 16 picks, and then going forward for the rest bracket, just breaking down the Sweet 16, Elite 8, and then Final 4 matchups so we can get a second chance at trying to get this right, and hopefully we'll do better than we did in our first attempt. That's not meaning to say that we gave up on our first bracket here, because many of our picks are still alive, and our overall pick, for those who have seen our Instagram post, is still in the tournament, and they won earlier today. So hopefully that will continue, where we can continue to make some correct picks. That being said, there's still a few games left to be played today, and as of right now, UNC won earlier today against Washington, so there's still a few games left to be played. And I would say, too, some of the biggest surprises here we're going to see in the first 2 days of the tournament, and then also so far heading into the Sweet 16. I was going to say that Iowa, which was a 10th seed, defeating Cincinnati, which was a 7th seed, which is kind of a surprise to me. And also, even though for some of the other brackets that I filled out not pertaining to this bracket here, Oregon actually defeating Wisconsin, Oregon being a 12th seed, and Wisconsin, ironically, even though I'm wearing an Ohio State pullover here, they actually defeated Iowa State, which was kind of surprising too, because many people picked Iowa State, including me, going into the Sweet 16. So right now, Ohio State's going to be playing later tonight against third-seeded Houston, and also Wofford actually defeating Seton Hall as well, even though I thought that was kind of an upset that could have happened, because I figured Seton Hall was playing somewhat tough, especially in the Big East tournament. I figured they'd play a little tougher against Wofford, but that wasn't the case. And also Belmont, which I thought was a team that could have been a potential Cinderella team, I felt they should have defeated Maryland, and I felt they were kind of blew the game like in the last minute there too, when they turned the ball over in the last minute. And they were really close to pulling off that upset, but I give them credit for at least getting not only their first NCAA tournament victory, but also playing tough against a 6-seeded Maryland team. So unfortunately, Belmont didn't go as far as I thought it was going to. And also Louisville losing in the first round, too, was a bit of a surprise as well. So with that being said, too, we'll have our second chance bracket coming up for you guys as well later on in the week, because on Thursday and this week, the Sweet 16 matchups will begin. So we will share our bracket with everybody, our second chance tournament bracket, ESPN tournament, second chance bracket with you guys before the first Sweet 16 game begins. Also, before I forget, two other matchups that were kind of a surprise to us as well. Nevada, they played pretty tough throughout the season. I figured they would have done better against 10th-seeded Florida, but they ended up losing in the first round to Florida. And also Buffalo, which was a 6th seed, ended up defeating Arizona State in the first round. So again, we'll see how the rest of those matchups turn out. Florida's going to be taking on Michigan, and also Buffalo's going to be taking on Texas Tech later on tonight. So hopefully we can actually get back on track there in that portion of our bracket. So whether it's the West, the East, the Midwest, or the South regions of our bracket, none of those were untouched by just incorrect picks or just things that we weren't able to really just at least consider in terms of upsets or upsets we thought were going to happen but didn't end up happening. So with that being said, when the rest of the round 2 matchups are finished, we will put a picture of our bracket up to this point on our IG, VerdictSquadNow. We will put a link to our Instagram in the description below, along with our other social media accounts as well, so you guys can be up to date on how our bracket looks, and then any other matchups or anything you would suggest, or based upon what brackets that you have as well too, who you have winning, or what upsets that you thought were going to happen but didn't happen, which upsets you called correctly, and that maybe some people didn't think were going to happen but did. Just let us know in the comments below. Thank you to everybody for watching this edition of Sports Sunday. So we will have our second chance tournament bracket once we submit it on our ESPN Tournament Second Challenge bracket app. We will submit that. We will print it out and also be able to show it to everybody. And then also we'll do a special Sports Sunday video on our second chance bracket. So hopefully for this second chance, we can do a lot better than we have done right now. So with that being said too, there's still a chance for this bracket right here. Like I said, we're not giving up on it to have us turn it around, because all of our Final Four picks are still in the tournament, and our Elite 8 as of right now, all those teams are still in as well too. So I am hopeful that we can begin to turn it around for this first initial bracket, and then for our second chance bracket as well too. Even though for this first bracket too, based on the ESPN Tournament Challenge app, there are no brackets left. So maybe here we can have a shot at a perfect bracket, maybe for our second chance bracket. So with that being said, thank you again for watching, and we will be live later on tonight at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll let everybody know what game we will be streaming on our Twitter at VerdictSquadNow, like the rest of our social media accounts, like we said for our Instagram as well. We'll put the links to those in the description below. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you guys later on tonight, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.